Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recap of Explosive Pro Wrestling's Goldrush 2013. My name is Dean Olsen. Joining me, none other than the Ironman, David Storm.
Thanks for joining me, Dean.
Sure. It was a great show, as Goldrush always tends to be. And what did we start off with, Stormy?
An EPW Tag Team Champions were in action. Dan Moore, Chase Griffin, up against the newly formed team of the Dropkicks.
Well, it was a non-titled matchup, but if the Dropkicks managed to get the victory, they would then go on to get a future tag team title matchup, and Dropkicks were impressive.
They were Leo Pratt and Scotty Ryan, definitely two of the rising stars here in Explosive Pro Wrestling, but they had a tough task tonight. The EPW Tag Team Champions, they are that for a very good reason. A well-drilled tag team. They've been together for a lot of years now, and they came out with a victory.
That they did, of course, so we won't be seeing the Dropkicks in a tag team title match just yet, but big things on the horizon for the team known as the Dropkicks. Following that, we had a singles match between the demented Jared Slate and everyone's favourite mate from the local, Husey, of course joined by his new coach, Adam Banks.
As I said on commentary tonight, Dean, Adam Banks was a rising star here in Explosive Pro Wrestling. Suffered some very serious injuries, and now he's trying to help Husey develop into what he could have been.
And he's also trying to get him to lay off the booze a little bit in trying to get him to become a better athlete as well.
And certainly not a popular decision, both with the fans and with Husey himself, but just from tonight's performance, you'd have to think that Husey would have to see the merits of getting off the booze.
Well, I guess time will tell how the coaching of Adam Banks will go. I think it can only lead to great things, but that notwithstanding, we had a match between him and Jared Slate. Now, when he's in the ring, you never quite know what to expect. The guy is completely out of his mind, and well, we saw all the usual things from Jared Slate, didn't we?
Absolutely. He's a vicious competitor and very unorthodox, but very successful thus far in Explosive Pro Wrestling. Jared Slate's a man to watch out for, and of course, that wasn't the only thing that Husey had to suffer tonight. Worship attacking yet again.
That's right, Jared Slate was victorious in that matchup, and then afterwards, when it was all said and done, Worship came into the ring and he speared Adam Banks right out of his work boots, and then Husey got a spear as well. Then we had a massive match for EPW's Goldrush 2013. Kyle Stereo in his first defense of the EPW Championship up against the Golden Greek, the people's hero, Marcus Pitt, and what an amazing matchup that was.
His first and his last title defense as EPW champion. Marcus Pitt came out here. He was a man on a mission tonight. By the end of the match, it was a 3-on-1 handicap. William Darcy, Jay Taylor interfering in the match, but still, your new or still EPW champion.
He never lost the belt, but it's back around his waist, ladies and gentlemen. Your new EPW champion is Marcus Pitt.
You'd have to think that the entourage are just going crazy tonight. The EPW championship, that represents the heart and soul of Explosive Pro Wrestling. For them to capture that, for them to steal that away, was a really big deal to the EPW locker room. And as far as this fight back goes against the Darcy regime, this is a huge blow to them. Absolutely massive. Marcus Pitt, once again, EPW champion.
We had something a little bit out of the ordinary next at EPW's Goldrush. It was an intergender tag team matchup where Michelle K. Hasselug and returning from Japan, Bruiser Barry Schmidt went up against gorgeous Gary Schmidt and one of our favourites, Ring Bell Mel.
I said during commentary, I'll say it again, it wasn't a tag team match, it was a handicap match because Michelle K. Hasselug is a trained professional wrestler. She's not just a great female wrestler, she's a great wrestler, full stop. Ring Bell Mel, no experience, never been trained, and she had to step in there and try and hold her own against Michelle and Bruiser Barry.
A few scary moments in there where Ring Bell Mel nearly got taken out, but gorgeous Gary did all he could to fight off both Michelle and Bruiser Barry. But in the end, drop dead gorgeous, down went Bruiser Barry, and Ring Bell Mel managed to get the pin, so it looks like she's got some wrestling experience now after all.
Well, that's got to be the most satisfying thing for gorgeous Gary. He's been drilling home this point that Bruiser Barry got pinned by a girl. Now, 2 times.
Pinned by a girl. We then had a tag team matchup between the team of Moving Man, Mountain Mad, Mike Massive, and the Shoot Fighter Gavin McGavin, believe me, gets easier to say, known as McMassive, up against the newly formed team of Twitch and the Bolly Boy, Eddie Bombay, who are known as Team Botch.
Botch, it's definitely easier to say, but it's definitely not easier to watch. These guys were all over the place tonight, just couldn't get on the same page, and McMassive are the complete opposite. They're a well-drilled tag team. They've been on an absolute roll here in Explosive Pro Wrestling. They've got many, many, many wins and just one tick in the loss column. These guys can't be denied any longer. Surely a tag team title match is coming.
Well, McMassive Fitness must be doing wonders for both of them because they were victorious over Team Botch at EPW's Goldrush. Then it all came down to the main event of the evening, the 2013 Goldrush Rumble to crown a new #1 contender for the EPW Championship. Of course, we all knew, as of the match last month, that Alex Kingston was competitor #1 and Sebastian Sander was competitor #15. And in between, my God, what an amazing matchup we saw.
We saw plenty of highlights in the Rumble tonight. Plenty of guys scrapping for their chance to get a shot at the EPW champion, Marcus Pitt. As I said, plenty of guys who wouldn't normally get a shot to get a chance at the EPW Championship. We saw Hayden Zenith. We saw Troy. We saw Koala Mask.
Koala Mask. We never thought we'd see someone debut in the Goldrush Rumble, but Koala Mask, he made his first appearance in EPW right here.
He did. Hopefully we'll see him again. We also saw the return of an EPW legend, Devlin Reeves, coming back, trying to get his shot at the EPW title.
I was absolutely thrilled to see him back in an EPW ring. In the run that he's had previously, he was never an EPW champion, and it could have been his time, but unfortunately he was eliminated.
This match was clearly Sebastian Sanders for the taking, coming in at number 15, the biggest competitor in the EPW Goldrush Rumble tonight. And when he came in, the complexion of the match completely changed. He was just throwing bodies around left, right, and center.
Well, it all came down to Sebastian Sander and Alex Kingston, the last two men in the Goldrush Rumble, and things escalated quickly. We had both men on the outside ring apron just battling with all they had, and in the end, Alex Kingston with a surprise victory. Here's your new EPW #1 contender for the EPW Championship. That all leads to our next event. It's always a massive moment on the EPW calendar. Explosive Pro Wrestling Evolution 2013. There's already been a few matches announced. We've got William Darcy on the case to attempt to get the Warship to make his debut. Finally, in a sanctioned matchup here in EPW, we're going to see Gorgeous Gary go one-on-one with Michelle K. Hasluck. Never thought I'd see it.
No, I don't remember the last time we saw man versus woman inside an Explosive Pro Wrestling ring.
Gonna happen next month at EPW's Evolution. Also, the EPW Tag Team titles will be on the line. The team of McMassive, the Moving Man Mountain Mad Mike Massive, and the Shoot Fighter Gavin McGavin are going to get their chance at the EPW Tag titles against Dan Moore and Chase Griffin. That match is going to be huge. And of course, the main event. It is going to be your new #1 contender, Alex Kingston, getting his shot at the EPW Championship against Marcus Pitt. It all takes place at Bodyslam Central, Cyril Jackson Rec Center on May 11th, 2013, EPW Evolution. We want to see you there.